Welcome to the Kat Kanaovs Show on New Earth TV. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanaovs, known as Kat, and co-author of the new release Amazon #1 bestseller, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases, published and distributed by Inner Tradition Simon & Schuster. Tonight is the 5th and the last series that will air live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. For the IASD, International Association for the Study of Dreams, and their upcoming event, June the 16th in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the beautiful Doubletree Resort Paradise Island. And you're going to meet the keynote speakers, featured speakers, panelists, and presenters. And all of these shows, all 5 of the ones we've done for IASD, are archived on the Facebook page, The Kat Kanaovs Show. So if you're not watching live now, but you want to see it later, or you can only see part of it now, you can always go to the Facebook page, The Kat Kanaovs Show, and download the whole thing again. So let me tell you a little bit about our guests tonight. Athena Kolinski is a woman of many hats. As a full-time mom of 2 young boys, part-time online professor, dream worker, intuitive therapy. Did I get that right? I've been practicing that all day. And volunteer on the IASD Conference Advisory Committee. And we have Dr. Kathi Kemper with us today. And Dr. Kemper is the director of the Center of Integrative Health and Wellness and a professor of pediatrics at The Ohio State University. Dr. Kemper has served on the faculty of the University of Washington, Yale, and Harvard University. And she has founded 3 centers for integrative medicine: Boston's Children's Hospital, Wake Forest University, and Ohio State University. And the reason we have these 2 wonderful guests with us today is they're going to actually be on the panel that Dr. Larry Burke and I are going to be doing at the IASD. And it's going to be the Dream Panel, and they are in the book, Dreams That Can Save Your Life. I don't have it with me. It's actually over there. I'll get it later. But anyhow, welcome so much to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So let me start with, I'm going to give you both the same questions because I know your answer is going to be totally different. So let's start with you, Dr. Kemper. Do you want me to call you Dr. Kemper, or would you rather I called you Kathi or Dr. Kathi? What would you like me to call you?
Call me Dr. K.
Dr. K. Okay. Dr. K. What inspired you to work with dreams and relationships with children and dreams?
Well, I'd been interested in dreams for a long time before I went to medical school, but I never really thought about working with children about them until one day when I was a pediatrician in training, and I was going to see a child for her first thing in the morning physical exam, which we had to do every day on the hospitalized children. And this was a little girl who had had a bone marrow transplant a few days before, and her white blood cell count was very low. And this morning when I went in to see her, she was very cheerful, kind of bouncing up and down in the bed. And I said, "What's going on? Why are you so happy today?" And she said, because usually kids are not happy to get a physical exam first thing in the morning. And she said, "My white count's going up today." I said, "Well, how do you know that?" And she said, "Because I had a dream and I saw a thermometer and the mercury was going up, up, up. And that means my white cell count is going up, up, up." Well, I didn't want to discourage her, but it was a few days before we expected her white cell count to go up. And as somebody who looks at dreams and metaphors, I was concerned that her thermometer going up actually meant that she was going to develop a fever and have an infection. But we went about the rest of our day and did her routine blood work. And sure enough, later that afternoon when her blood work came back, her white cell count had indeed gone up much higher than expected, much earlier than expected. And that really let me know that children can have accurate dreams too.
And you know what's amazing about that story, Dr. K, is that this child, this young child, understood her dream language, even if nobody else did. And even if maybe other doctors would have said, oh my goodness, her dream is telling us that she has popped a fever, which is quite frightening for those children who have had bone marrow transplants. But children haven't learned not to believe in their dreams yet. And so that's what I find so absolutely amazing about this story. Plus the fact that her blood cell count had gone up and she could have her treatment sooner than later. But yeah, did you find that a lot with the children, that they do believe in their dreams?
Well, I think they believe in their dreams because nobody's told them not to yet. And I think it has an important message for adults too, that even though a symbol may mean something to most people, the most important thing is what it means to the dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas I might think a rising mercury level on a thermometer meant an infection, for her it meant her white cell count was going up, and she's the most accurate interpreter of her own dreams. And I think that's true for adults as well.
Yes, and we do believe in that at the IASD, that you really are the only one who can interpret your dream. So Athena, tell us how you got involved in IASD and dreaming.
I got involved about 11 years ago, and I was writing my thesis, my second master's, about the tarot card and the major arcana and the movement from one card to the other. And so one of my professors said she was offering extra credit to go to the dream conference. So I was like, okay, why not? And then I met, besides a bunch of amazing people, but I met Lauren Schneider, and she was using tarot cards in hypnotherapy. And the way that, which is the therapy, which you were saying earlier. So therapy became an integral part. So not only did I have the story that I was seeing moving, but I also had a way to look into the story. And so that kind of, over the years, going and presenting at IASD, and then just doing other workshops, I was able to move my work and shift it as it's come into now more looking at the mythology of dreams. So looking at, I'm very interested in the flow of things. So how do they talk together? What's the movement? So when you look at the cards for the dream, you can look at pieces of your dream, but I like to look at like breaking the dream up into 3 pieces and watching how it flows to get the whole message. What is the message from the first part, the second part, the third part, and then the overall message? So, and that's where I really got started. But I wanted to say, about personal meaning, just going off what Kathi, Dr. K had said, that is one of the things I found to be so incredibly important, is looking at the personal message, like the personal, even with the tarot, right? So I don't do it the way a normal psychic would do it. I actually look at the cards and I'm reading the imagery, right? So that's part of the therapy, is reading the imagery. So when we do a reading, I look at the person who wants to know more about their dream is telling me also what they see. What is the image saying to them specifically? What is the personal connection to that symbol? And then it draws out all the information that they're looking for.
That's so true. And so, Kathi Kemper, going back to you, Dr. K, tell us, where do you see yourself going with dreams in your line of work? Where is that going in the future or near future?
Well, I'm really interested in children's dreams and what they can say about health, and I'm exploring the idea of actually working on a book about children's dreams. Currently, personally, I'm using my own dreams a lot for advice about my own health, whether it's about diet or exercise or particular therapies. My dreams have been helpful for me personally in terms of my own health. An example of that is that about a year ago, a friend of mine offered to let me try his pulsed electromagnetic field mat, which is a very expensive device that delivers pulsed electromagnetic fields, and it's supposed to be good for your health. And I didn't feel that good when I first used it for 20 minutes, and I adjusted the settings and I used it again, and I didn't feel that great. I didn't feel terrible, maybe a little headache. And the third day that I used it, I had a dream that night that I was in a large house and there was an electrician working on the upper floor with the circuit breaker box. And when I came to to where he was, he sort of yelled at me and said, "Stop fiddling with the electricity while I'm working on the circuit breaker box." And so I realized that this particular form of electricity was probably not the best for me. And so I returned it to my friend with gratitude for the option of being able to try it, but realizing it was not for me over the long term.
And so both the dream that Kathi shared with us earlier with the child and the dream she just shared with us are in this book, Dreams That Can Save Your Life. And Athena Kolinski's story is in here as well. So Athena, do you want to share a little bit of your story with us?
Mine is not as grand as some of the other people's in the sense.
Oh, I think it is. I loved it.
It's just about, being aware of your health. And I think a lot of what you've talked about, Kat, before on like the previous show, about dealing with the medical profession, like the doctors telling you that you're wrong and having to, no, look, my dream said this, and this is what I keep seeing. And I keep getting a vision of that this is what's happening to me. I had knee surgery and I keep seeing the picture of my knee having a rash and that I'm having an allergic reaction. And he's like, no, it's something else. And he refused to do any other tests except for what he decided was going to be the outcome. And that for me, being able to share that dream, I think it's just, for everyone to understand that they can listen to their dreams and they can, have that conviction to continue to say, no, like, I know you are a medical doctor and I understand that you see a lot of this, you can generalize things. I understand it's a beautiful thing. However, I'm telling you, that is not what's happening with me. Please listen to me. Please help me with this situation. So.
Oh, I love the dream. And the title of her dream is Do Not Have Sex. Seriously. And I loved it. It's a beautiful dream. It's an important dream. If you are a millennial, you need to read that chapter. It's a really, really good one. And we were just so pleased that Athena was willing to share it with us. I don't know. I saw Dr. Lou Haggard try to pop in, but he must be having some problems. So I don't see him with us again now. But unfortunately, some of the guests for the show have trouble with their computers coming on to the show because it is a video show. And we were going to have Dr. Lou Haggard on, who is a licensed psychoanalyst who does dream play face-to-face. And I'm sorry we can't seem to get him on, but I see Rachel is still trying. So he may pop on and we may be able to see him for a couple of minutes. So let me ask you, Athena, I know that you are also going to be presenting at the IASD. What are you going to be sharing?
The dream mythology, I talked a little bit about it in how I got into the dream work. But it's really fascinating too. I think the best thing is like you can go to the presentation and you can learn this way, but there's something so special about paying attention to the pattern. So when you're doing any kind of dream work with the tarot or just any kind of work with the tarot in general, I really recommend doing it more often and paying attention to the cards as they continue to come up and come up again, because I did a tarot spread on myself and I had a few cards, including the Tower, and that has been coming up a lot for me lately. And so then I had a dream about, very interesting, seeing the words gold, silver, and Mercury. And I thought, that's weird. And as it like zoomed up on this, and I think I'm a rare dreamer who can read in my dreams, because I hear this isn't that common, but the silver was silver colored, the gold was gold colored, but the Mercury was bronze colored. And I thought, that is quite crazy. So I did some tarot. I laid the tarot cards out in the dream mythology way, looking to understand my dream. What does the gold represent? What does the silver represent? What does the Mercury represent? And then what was the color? Because I was really curious about that. And wouldn't you know, again, I got the tarot card for the Mercury. And And so just seeing, like, as you're working through these inner things, it's not only just showing up on me just doing the cards in general, asking to see what's going on or what I need to be working on, but it's also showing up in my dreams, and the cards are confirming that I'm still working through this. So
I think that's great. You know, I in my first book, Surviving Cancerland, one of my spirit guides, who is a monk, I don't know why monks, he used to flip me a tarot card and didn't talk. He must have taken, you know, a vow of silence. So he would flip me a tarot card and then leave, and I had to go figure out what the message was that he wanted to convey to me using the tarot cards, and I found that very interesting. But Dr. K, tell us where you are going with your dream research now, other than the book. Do you keep a dream journal, and do you follow your dreams as well?
I do keep a dream journal. I've learned to keep it on my iPad because it's easier for me to type than to write things by hand. And also, when I wake up early in the morning and it's dark, rather than fumbling with the light, I can just hit the button on the iPad and it's light, so I don't have to worry about turning on an extra light. So it makes it easier to write, and I do that before I do anything else in the morning, is write down my dreams. And I try to jot down a little title for them so that I can find them easily. And I also jot down a few thoughts initially before I even start the day on what I think is going on in the dream. And then later on, I'll go back to them and think about them in more depth when I'm more awake. But I do keep a dream journal every day. And it's just fascinating to me. Even if you don't interpret your dreams, they're really an endless source of entertainment, that your unconscious can come up with all these images and stories and metaphors. It's really amazing.
Mhm.
Plus, you can give you very practical advice about what to eat, what to do for the day, just big decisions you're facing, and so forth. So I find it both entertaining and very useful and practical.
Mhm. And Athena, do you keep a dream journal as well?
I do, but since I have a 2-year-old, it's been a lot more challenging. He cries, I wake up, and I'm like frazzled. So the dreams have to, for me to remember them, they have to be a little more impactful, or I have to wake up just a little bit before my son. And then, yes, I do have one. I've had one. I've been keeping it for about 11 years since I started the Dream Conference, although I've always been interested in dreams since I was a child.
Mhm.
So it's been very helpful. In fact, one of the most one of the biggest dreams I ever had was what led me to start my business and get into the tarot even more, helping other people using the tarot, star card dreaming. And I had just an amazing dream that still to this day has continued to unfold layers to me. And you know, I wrote that down, and sometimes I go back. It's just, you never know how much you might think of something that'll jog your memory from a dream you had a long time ago, and you can get more information at any point. It's not linear. Dreams are not linear in that way. Like, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And what I found was amazing was how you were talking about with the tarot cards, where the same cards would just keep showing up. It's almost like a recurrent dream. You
Yeah.
know, a recurrent dream. Now you've got recurrent tarot cards showing up. So, Dr. K, can you share with our audience how they can find you and find out more information about you and the books that you've written? You've written many books.
Yes, I will hold up a picture of my latest book. Can you see that?
Yes, Authentic Healing.
Authentic Healing, about my experiences and learning over 20 years about being a healer as well as a doctor. They can find me at The Ohio State University. I'm easily accessible through email at The Ohio State University. I also edit the journal Complementary Therapies in Medicine, and people can find me through the journal, which is published by Elsevier. So they can find me through the journal website or through the Ohio State University website.
Great. Dina, how can our audience find you?
You can find me on starcarddreaming.com. So, like the star card from the tarot, dreaming.com. And I do therapy, which is kind of like a counseling therapy version, although I'm not allowed to say because I'm not a therapist, but that kind of idea where you're working through your stuff. So I help people with looking at the bigger picture, putting the pieces together. And then of course you can read my Dream in Kat's book.
That's true. That's true. Well, I really want to thank you guys for being on the show with us today. And I want to thank the audience for being here with us. You've been listening to the Kat Cannabis Show on New Earth TV. Big thanks to our producer, Rachel Love. And it looks like Dr. Lou Haggard was trying to get on, but for some reason he wasn't able to. However, he will be at the IASD. He will be sitting on our panel, our dream panel, so please come and see him there. This show is archived on the Kat Cannabis Show Facebook page, and if you like this show, please go there and leave us a message or a dream. We love dreams. Leave us a dream. And if you've had a dream that diagnosed an illness or diagnosed something in your life, definitely leave it for us, because Dr. Larry Burke and I are putting together the second book. And tune in next week with Thomas Hubble, who is going to be celebrating life at the Omega Institute, and I'm going to be interviewing him on that. So make sure you don't leave that, don't miss that show. We have a few minutes left. So Kathi, Dr. Kathi Kemper, Dr. K, what is the last thought you would like our audience to leave with?
I would like them to pay attention to their dreams, remember their dreams, set an intention before they go to sleep for their dreams, and keep a dream journal so that they can keep track of things and have fun with them. Talk with your friends about them. It's a great way to start the day, to talk with a friend about dreams you've had the night before, and you can help each other have insights into what's going on with them, and they become more and more interesting the more you talk about them and the more time you spend thinking about them. So enjoy your dreams. They can save your life.
Thank you, Dr. Kathi Kemper and Athena Kolinski. What is the last thought you'd love to leave our audience with?
That when you have your dreams, you should also just having that dream awareness, kind of thinking about that dream for during the day. You might pick up on the synchronicities and things that are trying to show you around you, that are giving you more insight into your dream, that are giving you more insight into what you're looking to solve or do or need help with. So just keep your awareness there all day with it.
Watch for that validation. Great point. So until next time, remember, we all dream, but some dreams save lives. Good night, everyone. This is always the outtake part. Right. So until Rachel shuts it off, I just sit there and babble with the people that were on the show. Thank you guys for being on the show with us today.